dudes? So if you joined me on the last episode, this is part 2. We're going to be cleaning all the intakes around the valves and all that stuff. I got some more tools to do it. And also, if you remember right, AutoZone gave me the wrong filter. They admitted to it, so I have to go get that. So let's take the Infinity and go get it. So it's a little bit unfortunate, but people make mistakes. I gotta tell myself that. So now I got a 20-minute drive to go get this correct oil filter. Get something to eat, come back, we're gonna jump on this. Boy, I'm telling you, the devastation here. Anyways, I have to thank one of my Patreon subscribers because I got 2 packages today. And this was one of them. This DeWalt toolkit set. This is awesome. Like, this is a full-blown kit. This is going to be nice when I go to the junkyard to get parts and stuff. This is awesome. So, anyways, on top of that, they got the cat's treat. And the kitties love treats. Just listen to this. I open this cabinet. And drop shit. They made a liar out of me. Normally when I open something up like this, they come running. They must be out sleep. Kitties! Kitties! Cats! Treats! You lazy sons! Oh my lord, look at this. Look at this over by Mommy's desk. You're not supposed to be on Mommy's blanket. Anyways, while we're here, here's a little treat. A treaty treat. There you go. There you go. No, this is hers. I just set it on her. Right here. Hey. Dum dum. That's it. I gave him a bunch earlier. I just wanted to give him another one on video. So if you're along for the video yesterday, look at this mess. I did clean the valve cover up. It cleaned up somewhat and put the new gasket on there. That's why I set it on a box. I didn't want to set it on something greasy and oily or dirty. And then I also need to clean these things. This is one of them that I cleaned. I just left them in a solvent here, and then I scraped them with a razor blade, and they came out fairly clean. So we got to get these back in the intakes whenever we get them all cleaned out. So we already cleaned this intake port right here, and I want to show you, as you can see down in there, fairly clean. You can see the valve. There's some dirt in there and stuff, but we are going to seafoam this afterwards. I should put that clean divider in. I'll show you what it looks like done. Alright, put that clean divider in there, as you can see. Now I'll show you how I cleaned this out. Get yourself a little crappy shop vac. I've had this thing for years. I don't even have a filter in it. But I tapered it off with a piece of airline on there, cut it to a taper so I can get down in there and suck the cleaner out of the valve ports in there. And it makes it really easy if you have the valve cover off, because then you can see the lobes are facing up and they're not pushing on the valve. So this cylinder, you can see the valves are closed. This one, they are still closed because you can see they're not facing down yet. So we should be able to do the next cylinder right now. Then the next one, they are actually open. So the next cylinder open, we're going to have to turn the motor over to get them to a place where they're shut. And here's what one looked like. I have not touched this one yet, and you can see how dirty and crappy that looks. That's just no bueno. So I was using this Super Tech Walmart carb cleaner. I don't think it's that strong, so I did grab some 2+2 cans. This stuff right here is strong. So we're gonna pour it up right now with this to give it time to soak in and break up the carbon. And then I used that brush for a little bit on a drill. It worked all right, but I got some more brushes and some picks. Picks are going to be your best friend because there are chunks that just won't break free. You get to pick down in there and pick at it, and it'll break away. Then use the vacuum cleaner to suck all the debris out and get it all cleaned up, and then wipe down the sidewalls with, I was using degreaser wipes. Honestly, that's probably the cleanest you're gonna get them. Best bet would be to fill those up and let them sit for a long time. I didn't do that, but so I got 2 clean now. It's just taking forever. So I'm gonna do the next 2, and then we'll go on to the valve cover and stuff like that. I don't know why, but the most satisfying part of this job is cleaning off of these dividers that go inside the intakes. Just take it after soaking, taking a razor blade across them. Don't know why, that's just satisfying to me. Oh no. So there you go. I got one side done. Yay. This is hours later. I'm going to clean this surface all up over here. I got the new valve cover gasket on this. This valve cover gasket will not come off. The collars that are around the bolt, it's a pain in the butt to get the valve cover on, because you have to get the collar down through the rubber on it. So it won't move. There's no way it's coming off of there. So we'll be putting that back on. What you really need for this job, to make it simpler on yourself, it still takes a lot of time, is compressed air with a nice air nozzle, a pick, a shop vac, and a lot of chemicals. So just take your time. You don't want to have to do this twice, so clean it the best you can. And I'm going to continue on. Then we'll get this side off, see what this side looks like, and let's just keep moving. Alright, so we're just going to reverse that on the other side and take this valve cover off and then clean these intakes. This, I'm telling you, takes a really long time. So I'll get back to you once I get this valve cover loose. One bolt that is a pain in the butt, I'm sure there's one on this side too, is, yeah, there's a valve cover bolt right there. And you're going to need a special wrench for that, and I have it somewhere. Hold on. Right here, a little bit driver. This gets back in there, you can crack it loose, and then you just got to really work on it. See, there is one on this side as well. It sucks because the shock tower's there, and that's the only bolt that's hard to get to, and you'll need the special tool for. I mean, I didn't expect this side to look any different than the other side, so yes, the internals are very clean, the cams look very good. I don't see any issues in here. There is a little bit of moisture on the inside of the valve cover, and That's because of all the water that was in the smog pump. That line actually runs from this valve cover down to the smog pump, so you kind of figure it's gonna get some water in there, some moisture from all that. But we got that all cleaned out, got the new smog pump, so we shouldn't have any issues there. But now I'm gonna start cleaning on these. I'll do one film, I'll do one of these ports and clean it completely. I'll find the one that's the worst, because some of them have like balls of carbon around the valve stems, like crazy amount. So let me get into this, and I'll video one of these, whichever one's the worst one. They're all clean, and if you notice, it's starting to get dark out already, because that's how long it took me. Anyways, we got to change this gasket. I got it here in this bag, and I can see they're pretty much close to the same, but this one has this little cap right here. It goes over this port. I don't understand what that's for. It fits like down inside of the upper valve cover, or I guess it would be the lower valve cover. But I need to get this thing stripped and cleaned up. So I'm going to do that right now. Try to blow some of this moisture off of here. And then we'll throw this one. Alright, so we got new valve cover gaskets in, new spark plugs, new O-rings in the oil filter housing, and now I got new gaskets to go on the intake. Now these gaskets have a little rubber nub on them that actually holds them in place so they don't scooch out of place on you while you're putting the intake on. So let me show you one of those. See, as you can see, they have a nub on each side, and that just holds them in place. So let me set these in here, and I still need to clean the intake, but we're not going to get real thorough on that. Most of the carbon is right inside those tracks, so that's all taken care of. So let me lay these down. Alright, so I'm going to show you these intake gaskets. They're identical, they only go one way, and you actually have to push that rubber nub down in there with a little bit of force to actually get it to go down in. So there you go, they're both in place. Now let's clean this. Actually, I'll clean the top after I get it on and torque down and stuff, but right now I just want to clean the underside, so I'm gonna have to remove. I have all the bolts sitting in it, and let me see how bad it looks underneath. Okay, so here's the underside of it. Not too shameful. You really don't need to worry about any of this part, but these flaps are a little bit gummed up. I'm not gonna get crazy on them. I'm just gonna spray them and wipe them down and make sure these surfaces are pretty clean. These are some sort of power flap to make more power. Probably it restricts your air and lets more air in, depending on how it is. But yeah, they're pretty gummy. Actually, they wipe off pretty clean. So I'm just gonna spray them down the best I can and try to get most of that junk off there. Alright, so I've just been kind of piecing it back together off camera, but yeah, this intake I'd like to clean up a lot better. But there are 4 really finicky bolts. They're hard to get to. If I would have, I went off a YouTube video, you know, because those YouTube mechanics know exactly what they're doing. Anyways, there's 2 bolts right here that they told me to take out for the bracket for the PVC valve here. I could have left those in there. There's 2 back here that go into the intake track right here, and they separate after you take those 2 bolts out. See, I just took those ones out and I went to lift it out and I didn't have enough room, so I ended up taking the 2 bolts out of the back side of this. Now if you have one of these, it works pretty good. Otherwise you ain't getting in there with nothing. So that, and then there's 2 really finicky. There's 2 right here, vent hoses with clamps on them on the bottom of the intake here, which are really fun to get at, let me tell you. Well, my light went dead, but I'm happy to say, pretty sure it's all together as far as it needs to be. Next episode, I gotta get the crank pulley back on. Oh, I want to pull that oil cooler. I don't know if I'm gonna do that first. We definitely need to check it for leaks. So I don't have O-rings for that, so hopefully sometime this week we get those O-rings and we can continue on. I want to run this thing in with the old oil in it right now before I change the oil to see if there's any leaks. And I'm pretty happy with that. It wasn't too hateful. It's there's a lot to disconnect and move and stuff, but I mean, it all goes back together fairly easy, and there's like no other way to put it back together. So I don't know. It's not that bad. The Ford was worse. I'd love to stay here and chit chat, but I gotta go potty. So if you haven't yet, go check out my Teespring page and check out my merch. I have a couple shirts dedicated to this build. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you dislike this video, go grab a pack of ballparks and shove them up. And consider subscribing. And we'll see you on the next episode of Unwrapped.